mastery topic for the mid-quarter 4 test is solving problems by writing equations. This can mean a lot of things. On this test, we'll probably just be doing linear stuff. So I'm taking a look at problem 749 from your homework, and it's a checkpoint problem, which means that it's really important. It's a mastery topic. And we're going to go through a couple of these. So first, let's start with A. We're supposed to write one or two equations to represent this situation, and then we're going to solve it. Be sure to define our variables clearly before we answer the question, or to answer the question. So let's look at letter A. A says the Lees have 3 children. The oldest is twice as old as the youngest. The middle child is 5 years older than the youngest. If the sum of the ages is 57, then how old is each child? Okay, it's a lot of words. So I know I have an oldest child. I know I have a middle child. And I know I have a youngest child. So I'll start with that. I am going to think about what I want my variables to be. I don't want 3 variables, so let's see if I can pare this down. It says here the oldest child is twice as old as the youngest. So if the youngest child, which one depends on which one? So if I was going to say, what does that mean? You might think, well, that means if the youngest child is 3, the oldest child is 6. So the oldest child's age depends on what the youngest child's age is. It's easier to figure out if you know the youngest child's age. So since we don't know the youngest child's age, that's going to be my variable. So I'm going to say y equals the youngest child's age. So if the oldest child is twice as old, that means I'm going to take the youngest child and I'm going to multiply that child's age by 2 to figure out the oldest child's age. So the oldest child is 2 times y. Then it says the middle child is 5 years older than the youngest child, which means it's the youngest child's age plus 5 more years. So there I set up my variables. The oldest child's age is going to be represented by 2y. The middle child is going to be represented by y plus 5. And the youngest child is just going to be represented by y. Then it tells me the sum, I remember sum means add, of the ages is 57. That means when I add all the ages, when I add the oldest plus the middle plus the youngest, I get 57. I don't know what any of those ages are, but I do know that we decided to let the oldest be 2y, the middle child's going to be y plus 5, and the youngest child's going to be y. Now I have an equation that looks familiar. I can solve an equation like this. I'd start by combining like terms. I have 2 y's plus another y, that's 3y, plus another y, that's 4y. 4y plus 5 is 57. Okay, I'd subtract 5 from both sides, and then finally divide both sides by 4 to get y alone. Y is 13. Well, that's my algebraic answer, but what does that mean in terms of this problem? That means the youngest child is 13. Now that I know the youngest child's age, it's easy to figure out the middle child because I just have to add 5. The middle child's 5 years older, so that's 18. And the oldest child is 2 times as old as the youngest child, so that's 2 times 13, 26 years old. That's how I'd solve that problem. If you want help solving any of the other other problems, you can go to page 660 in your textbook. There's some very nice examples. Oops. This is just writing linear equation. So yeah, it's checkpoint 7A, and that's not the right one. Here it is. It's on page actually 644 of your textbook. They have the answers, which we just found A, but they have the answers to all of them. And then they also have some more examples and some more practice problems for you. So I'd highly recommend that if you still have questions about it. At least try to work a couple of those out and check them.